Hello and welcome to this Friday episode of the Rooted Family podcast, where we talk about all things faith and family. It's officially pumpkin season, which sounds rather cute on Instagram until you realise that half your week's been chaos and you still haven't sat down. But in the middle of it all, I made soup. Real soup. Pumpkin soup. No filters, and it turned out to be exactly the pause I needed. My name is Naomi Wells, and together with my husband Chris, we set up Wells Devotionals, a collection of books and journals all about staying rooted in faith through the ups and downs of family life. So welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time visiting to our kitchen table. Grab yourself a coffee or a tea, get comfortable because it's going to be a good one, and it's time to chat. So first things first, a bit of exciting news. The next two books in our Rooted series, Rooted in Study and Rooted in Strength, are now officially live to buy on Amazon. I haven't actually held the author's copies yet because they're still making their way through the post, so technically I'm still waiting to see them in person, but knowing they're out there, that feels rather surreal. You spend so many months deep in edits, layouts, late night second thoughts, and then one day it's just done. Chris looked at the stack of drafts on my desk and said, "It's starting to look like a bookstore in here." And you know what? He is right. It's more than we ever imagined when we started this journey. And you know what? I am just so glad that we did. Now, while the publishing world's been spinning, real life has been doing its own thing too. Earlier this week, I found myself back in the kitchen chopping up the pumpkins we collected last weekend. But instead of doing something picture perfect, insta-ready like a glossy pumpkin pie, I just made soup. Simple, cosy, nothing fancy. You can see a few pictures if you're watching on YouTube. My mum will be proud. The onions in the recipe are from our own garden. She's the one with the green fingers, so she'll be astonished that I've kept anything alive. What I made wasn't curated or styled, it was just life. And that, I think, is the heart of what we do here. Finding the calm in the middle of real, imperfect, everyday moments. When life gives you pumpkins, you don't have to turn them into something beautiful for the internet. You can just make soup, feed your family, sit down, breathe, be thankful. So that's kind of been the theme for the week. Moving fast, but remembering to slow down. It's that duck on a pond feeling, calm on the surface and paddling like mad underwater. But even in that motion, there's grace. Because it means life's happening. Books are being released, dinner's on the stove, the house smells like pumpkin and cinnamon. And maybe that's the message this week. Progress doesn't have to look polished. Sometimes it smells like soup and feels like peace. Well, all right, that's this week's little catch-up. It's just short and sweet again. But next Tuesday's long-form episode is all about how journaling helps families process life together. And we'll be back in the kitchen for that one, talking about what making soup taught me about slowing down, reflecting, and writing things down. So if you haven't already, make sure you're following on YouTube or Spotify. And if you've got a rooted journal, maybe jot down one small moment from this week that grounded you. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me at the kitchen table, and I'll see you next Friday, hopefully with those books finally in hand. Until next time, stay rooted.